So be it. Oh my. Oh, that's why you're saying he's...
That's it.
Oh.
Alright.
Wait a minute. Oh my. Okay. What do you, Hey, pecans! Oop.
Not joking, that's it.
Literally it.
That's it.
That was it.
That's the final boss.
That was him.
Everything else in this game is actually difficult, and the final boss is like... I think you're supposed to use his hands as, like, platforms, but they're like, why would you put the walls there?
Huh. Yeah, no, that's really stupid.
It stops here! That's a girl.
Can't come back to Earth immediately. The cytoplasm infestation is epidemic. We need your help.
Yeah, I bet you that's probably his wife or girlfriend or something like
Liza?
that.
Liza Masters, I think.
Yeah. Well, after they got married.
I read you. I'm on my way. Oh, man. Then he... Boom! I'm coming!
He's like, oh, god damn it.
Yeah!
Had so much fun, now I
gotta
go home. Now I gotta go home.
Boom, man. So there you go. That is...
Street Fighter
2010 in the bank.
The final fight.
Final fight.
How does it feel to call it the final conflict?
I could take it or leave it. Alright, man. So,
bastard!
There you go. Fucking Street Fighter 2010. How long did this take me?
This took you 55 minutes.
Under an hour, like
Holy
I said.
Shit.
55.
Wow.
And if I hadn't died as much as I did, probably 45.
Yeah, that's...
So,
wow, very nicely done.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
I mean, I do really like this game. Obviously, I was angry. But it's just that part.
Were you?
A little bit.
A little
saucy, a little saucy.
I didn't notice it.
But, I mean, I do like this game. I have a soft spot for it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you've never played it or, have you ever played this?
I think I may have played it for like 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure you remember relatively how the controls are. They're a little sloppy, not super tight, but, I mean, it's a fun game to me. So we'll start jumping right into it. Difficulty. What do you think this would be?
I was going to say, I can't really rate on difficulty, but honestly...
Because I know...
And you probably won't agree with me, because then again, I wasn't the one playing it, but... I'd give it a 5.
Middle of the road?
Middle of the road.
I know on Game...
Because they...
What is it, GameSpot now? They rank it tough.
Yeah, it's like... but I often, like, I think... The angry video game nerd was one of those who, like, he played the game and was going through, like, what it took to beat the final boss and the whole, like, gauntlet of all that stuff.
And that is rough.
He made it seem, again, like it was, like, an impossible game. Like, this game is so super tough, and it didn't seem that way.
No.
It's very middle of the road.
Like I said, there are 19 segments, supposedly, but a lot of those segments are just like that weird fluffer shit in the middle of nothing.
Well, and it reminds me of Legendary Wings in the sense that it's like...
Or Dragon Spirit.
Or
yeah,
Dragon Spirit.
I know what you're talking about.
The more power-ups that you get, the stronger you are, and thus the easier the game is ultimately going to be.
Right.
So it's like the only time that it's really difficult is after you've died, or if you take a hit, then it's like the game gets harder and harder. Like, it punishes you for getting hit and for taking damage.
Yeah.
And so that, it's like, I don't know if I can really consider that full, like, difficulty as much as it is, like, it's manufactured difficulty. Like, they...
Well, because
I don't know.
I know what I know what you mean. I don't know if there's limited or unlimited continues in this game, because I only continued once.
Yeah, you've never gotten to that point.
No,
man.
I could have sworn it was unlimited, or I swore it was limited, but I could be wrong. It might be unlimited continues, in which case I would say this is middle of the road.
I feel like Capcom that was one of their things, is they always had. I don't think that there was any Capcom game that had limited continues.
Not that I can Trojan?
Not off the top of my head.
That was no continues.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that was very early on. So.
But I'd say you're fighting the controls most of the time over anything. Yeah, the trajectory of some of the enemies is tough, like those weird worms. Mm-hmm. They come at you at such angles, and then those dumb-ass fucking pecan things that just stop just a hair from where you need them to come. You know what I mean? So it's like, even that flash shield thing, or the jump shield, flash kick, and then that weird ball that sits behind you really doesn't do much good, because nothing comes at you close enough to do that, except for enemies that are going to go through it anyway. And it didn't happen, but if you hit something too much, you'll start hearing this, like, almost chiming noise. They're invincible. It means you're not hitting them anymore. You have to stop. It's almost... Do you remember... What game did that? Like Blaze Blue, where you couldn't unlimited combo somebody because you did less and less damage the further in the combo you got. Yeah. That's almost kind of what that feels like.
Oh, wow.
Because, like, I don't think the game can register that you continually hit them. So the slowdown... I don't know. It's very strange. Like I said, I don't think I really did it, but... It's very odd. It's an odd feeling game. To be honest, I would say 5 feels right. I never beat this as a child. This is my first time, well, second time beating it, because I beat it before we recorded. But this is only my second time beating it as an adult, and really, like you said, it took under an hour.
Yeah.
So really, the game's not that fucking hard.
It does not seem like it's that terribly hard.
No. I mean, I know what I'm doing, too, so I'm sure that helps, but it's
But at the
execution.
same time, yeah, I think it's, I still don't think, even if you don't know what you're doing, I think you could probably, maybe it'll take 2 or 3 hours versus 1 hour.
Yeah, I would
say
say
if you don't know
so.
what you're doing.
And especially if it is unlimited continues, if you die and continue, you continue at the level you're at. Not the planet, the level.
The level. Oh, see, and that makes it even more forgiving in that sense.
So 5 to me feels actually fair.
Okay.
Then let's move on to fun. I'll start.
Yes, please.
The music in this game is dynamite. Capcom has always had stellar fucking soundtracks.
They always have.
The music in this game is fantastic. I love the graphics, actually. The backgrounds look cool. There's a lot of fucking enemies to fight. There's a lot of bosses.
There's a lot of variety in this game.
They really don't recycle any bosses until, like, at the end here.
For the gauntlet, yeah. which is fine. I'm not against that. I like that in video games where they like reincorporate enemies as part of like a final gauntlet, a final lead up to the end. Especially as long as you're not reusing them like in like normal end of level or normal conditions or something like that.
Right. Oh yeah, like because that fucking weird the lung thing is a lot harder in that small area.
Yeah.
And not only that, but then that guy with the ball, he's a lot harder in a much smaller area. So it's like you're revisiting bosses that are under different conditions.
Yeah, well, it's because what I think of is like Double Dragon, where at the end of the first level, the boss is a Bobo.
Right.
And you're thinking like, oh yeah, he's big, he's different than all the other guys, so yeah, he's a really, like, he's a boss, he's a real boss. But then by the time you get to, I think, even the second level, you're fighting 2 Abobos. Yeah. And then it's like you're fighting a Bobo after a Bobo in like the 3rd or 4th level. It's like you've now just completely kind of like you've used up the reason that he was a boss in the first level.
Right.
Like he's now it doesn't matter anymore. He's just a regular enemy, and they didn't do that with this.
No.
So
other than some of those areas where I fought that weird fire wizard guy in one of the woogly stages.
Yeah.
Like the in-betweens. But like it's I love the assortment of enemies. Like I said, the game handles funny, but it's not terrible. I love that you have so many different kinds of moves. The backflip, you can shoot straight down. I mean, it's pretty fucking cool. Fun for me. Personally, I give this game like a 6 or a 7. Just based on like the sum of its parts.
Oh, yeah.
Controls are a little wonky, and that's kind of where it doesn't go higher for me, is because if this was better platforming and like going around the columns and stuff, if that were better, this would have been an 8. But because of that, I would say it's like a 6, high 6, low 7.
I would say 6 in the sense that it's like it's a strong Capcom game, but it's one of their not one of their better ones for the reason that their controls are not as tight.
Right.
Because I could see some of the the controls and the mechanics and stuff because and Capcom really had tighter controls in most of their games.
Yeah.
So it's like everything else for this game worked out. The level designs were fantastic. I think the backgrounds, the enemies, there was a humongous variety of enemies in this game.
Yeah.
The music, of course, it was just absolute kick-ass from start to finish. And so it's got everything going for it that a good Capcom game had, but because of the controls, it just really kind of I don't know. It sets it just a notch below what Capcom would have been capable of.
And actually, now that you mentioned that, it's like no level ever felt the same.
No.
To me. So actually, that's gonna solidify it to me at a 7.
Yeah, there was no repetition.
I mean, every level is unique, and it feels unique. Every planet feels unique, and I love that about this game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So to me, this game's a straight 7 for fun.
Cool.
So what do you're
from
sticking with a 6?
From what I saw, I would stick with a 6.
Okay.
Just because, like I said, it's one of those games where, I haven't played it as much, so I'm kind of biased, I guess, in that sense. Although maybe it would make me unbiased. But while it is a really cool game, great soundtrack, I just don't see it having that big of a replay value. Like, I just can't see ever coming back to it. If you beat it, it's like, yeah, it's fun while I was playing it, but it wasn't enough to just kind of draw me back.
Yeah. Now that I'm still gonna stick with a 7, but
stop seesawing.
It is kind of a short game. Now that I'm really thinking about it. It's kind of short.
And if you didn't have the issues that you did with the last level and stuff like that, you probably would have had this done in literally like 25 or 30 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
So
yeah, I'm still gonna stick it at a 7, but that is a point to bring up.
Yeah.
All right, price point. What did you pay for Street Fighter 2010: The Final Fight?
So I must have paid. It was either $2.99 or less for this game.
Okay.
I did not pay a lot for it. In fact, if my memory of how I got this game is a little bit sketchy, but I feel like I got this probably as part of a lot of games.
Okay.
Like I may have ordered like 15 or 20 games, and this was one of them that I just didn't have at the time. So, but honestly, I don't think, like, with the price point of the lot and what I paid and how many games I got out of it, it probably broke down to less than three or less per game is what I paid for it.
Not bad.
So,
according to PriceCharting.com, as of this video, Street Fighter 2010 goes for $9.03.
$9.03.
Do you feel that is worth it?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
I'm inclined to agree.
Absolutely. Because
I would say round it to a 10.
This is classic Capcom.
Yeah.
And at a $10 price point, this kind of hits into one of those areas where I just think, like, this would probably be one of those games that is like that really good value under $10. Like, that there's still kind of these kind of hidden beauties of Nintendo games that are actually still cheap and affordable that you can pick up for really cheap but have a really good time with. And I'm not gonna lie, there's better out there. There's a lot better that are a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Or there's some that are just a little bit more expensive. Guardian Legend being one of them at $15. I would, like,
hands down.
I could go back to Guardian Legend any day of the week.
Oh, hands down.
Legacy of the Wizards, not everybody's cup of tea, but that's literally a $4 game that I absolutely love. But yeah, this is just it falls into that category of it's less than $10, but yet it's a really good game that people really don't talk about all that much.
It's something very quality, which there are games that are cheap, but they're not great as well, which then again, there's also expensive games that really aren't that great.
Exactly.
But I feel like this is one of those where it's a hidden gem. Yeah. Maybe not like Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu or what was another hidden gem we did lately that we were kind of like surprised it was as good as it was. Maybe it wasn't lately, but there was another one we played where we were surprised how good it was. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
but Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu is the only one that comes to mind usually. But like this, I wouldn't quite say is that good, but it's still worth a play. In my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
$9.03, absolutely.
Definitely worth it.
Absolutely pick it up. It's not the longest game, but it's a decent length, especially if you're first jumping into it. It'll take you maybe an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, especially to get used to the idea. Because I mean, that first level really just they throw it in.
They throw it right at
those
you.
guys home at you. That fucking dude swoops at. I mean, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I would say, yeah, definitely worth it. All right.
Cool.
Fuck yeah.
All
so there we go.
Street Fighter 2010 in the bank.
In the bank. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Hopefully you did. So hit us up on Facebook.
Hit us up on the Twitter.
And check us out at powertripgaming.tv. It'll take you right to our channel where you can watch all of our other playthroughs, where you can find some of those wonderful gems that we've played and some of those really shitty games that we've also struggled through.
Oof. Yeah, shitty games.
Lots of them.
A lot of shat.
Yeah. So, until next time. Next time, fuck.
Next time on Power Trip.
We'll play something better.
Way to flub it. It was a perfect run, and that's what you end with. Strong finish. Proud of you. Is it because of all the cyboplasm?
It might be the cyboplasm taking over my body.
My daddy.
Why does it hurt so bad?
Cyboplasm.
Oh.
That's not the greatest story in the world,
No,
is it?
it is not. I cannot believe that this was a Street Fighter game. I honestly can't.
You know, I almost feel like if Street Fighter was taken off of it, that would have been fine. And this game could have stood on its own. Call it something else.
If
There's like very low Street Fighter references.
Final Fight hadn't been created already, they could have literally have called this game The Final Fight.
Yeah.
And it would have been
would have stuck better.
Yeah.
Because you're right, nobody ever mentions Street Fighter 2010 as one of the games in the echelon of Street Fighter games.
No. It doesn't even come up in casual conversation.
I was just about to say that.
That 25th anniversary collection that they had released, it's like, yeah, they've got all these different games. They've got so many versions of Street Fighter 2. No mention whatsoever of Street Fighter 2010.
Wouldn't that have been amazing if that was a hidden unlockable with Street Fighter 2010?
That would have been.
That would have been something.
Well, and it's funny because, I mean, characters from, like, other Capcom properties, like Final Fight and stuff like that, those characters became incorporated into the Street Fighter franchise because of, like, Street Fighter Alpha and Street Fighter Alpha 2.
Oh my god.
Wouldn't it have been insane if, like, Street Fighter Alpha 3 or one of those offshoots or something like that would have incorporated characters from Street Fighter 2010 in there?
I would have liked... what was the latest Street Fighter game to come out? 5?
Yeah,
6?
yeah, Street Fighter 5.
If one of Ken's alternate DLC costumes was Ken from
Masters
fucking Street Fighter 2010, wouldn't that have been cool as shit,
in his
dude?
fucking armor.
Oh yeah, with the
space
fucking
armor.
goofy mohawk
With
thing.
with the fucking Charlie Nash, like, part.
And the glasses.
Exactly.
Dude, that would have been bad. Capcom, get on that shit.
Yeah, what are you guys waiting for?
Just
this is a property just waiting to be milked.
Just
Come
like
on.
Trojan for Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh my god.